And by bringing all these photo methods together, you're going to maximize your pictures and take them to the next level. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who do not know me already, my name is Matt, and on this channel I talk about all things social media. So if that kind of thing interests you, consider subscribing and turning on post notifications. That way you guys never miss another video that I post. In today's video, we're gonna be doing something that is really fun, and I'm gonna be showing you guys some of the methods that I use when I edit photos, whether it's for Instagram, Facebook, a thumbnail for YouTube, or just anything that might be fun or entertaining to me. I'm gonna be talking about mostly free things that you can do, as well as a couple things that you might have to pay for on certain apps, but I promise this video will bring you a lot of value if you like photography and you wanna bring your photos to the next level. So through this video, I'm gonna take you guys through a small process of how I edit photos. It doesn't just mean for Instagram. I'm also gonna show you guys how I Photoshop some stuff and make sure things look a little bit better than they did when they were originally taken. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull my phone up and do a screen recording for you guys. That way you can see everything that I do each step of the way. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is muscle definition. Now, obviously everybody wants to be, in shape, looking good, looking their best at all times. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a photo that I took not too long ago and show you guys exactly how I'm going to basically enhance this and make me look a little bit more jacked than I am in this picture. We're not using Facetune 2 for this. I have done Facetune 2 in the past for editing stuff out, but some of the features that I'm gonna show you today were on Facetune 2, and on the features that I'm gonna show you, the app is completely free. But for this example, I'm not gonna be photoshopping anything on my body. I'm just gonna show you guys how I bring up a little bit more definition, make me a little bit more toned than I already am. Okay, so you guys should be able to see the picture that I chose. And what I'm gonna do is go ahead and go into the photo gallery settings, and I'm gonna edit from inside of your iPhone gallery. So obviously you guys can see this was taken as a portrait photo, which means the images behind me are blurred, which really enhances the photo of me and really focusing, everybody when they look at the photo, all their attention is on me rather than at the images behind me. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on edit, and what's gonna happen is it's going to pull up some features right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click down here at the bottom on the 1 second over from the cube. Now this is where we get to adjust a lot of things. You can do a lot of the stuff like this on Visco or Instagram, which I might show you on Instagram in a little bit, but I'm gonna show you guys how to edit inside your iPhone gallery with what the iPhone gives you. Now instead of clicking auto, I'm gonna go in and adjust each of these a little bit and show you guys how they look. So the first thing we're gonna do is click on exposure. Now obviously when I pull it down, it's going to get dark, and obviously when I go to the other side, it's going to be bright. So anytime you're talking about definition or bringing a little bit more toneness out, you're going to want to darken features a little bit, but we don't want to darken the picture and take away from it. So we're going to drop the exposure a little. We're going to go down to -15 and see how that looks. We're going to go ahead and go over and brilliance. We're going to do the same thing, go all the way up, all the way down. Obviously all the way up, it's really just making it way too bright. So we're going to drop a little bit on this and then go ahead and go over to highlights. Now on highlights, this is where we can bring out a little bit more of a tan. So I'm gonna drop the highlights down to about, let's see, I don't wanna go too low, but let's drop it down to about -40. -40 looks just like that. So in order for you to be able to see what the photo was before and after, you just tap on the screen and then it shows you, and then it goes back to what you have. So obviously you can see we've done some stuff already. So next we're gonna tap on shadows, and shadows are gonna also bring up some definition, but we don't wanna make it look too dark in the photo. So I'm gonna pull the shadows over a little bit. It's looking a little bit dark around my face. So then we're gonna go over to contrast. Contrast, when we pull it all the way over to the right, it's gonna make it look really kind of like dark in certain features, which may bring out definition, but you're gonna really darken your face. So I'm actually gonna go back in the middle for contrast. I don't wanna touch it at all, which brings us to brightness. Now brightness is the same thing. You bring up the brightness, you're gonna lose some definition and tone. You bring down the brightness, it's gonna bring up more tone. So we're gonna lose a little bit. We're gonna drop it down about -10, see how that looks. We're gonna go ahead and skip the black point. We're gonna go over to saturation. Now saturation is where we can really get some definition. So we're gonna bring this over, but we don't wanna go too much. We don't wanna make myself look orange. And now that we've brought out the color a little more, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that there. Okay, so then we're gonna move on to warmth, and we're gonna play around with that. The warmth is gonna give give me a nice tan, but we don't want it to look yellow or orange. That's what it's gonna do. So we're gonna go up a little bit. I'm gonna say right there is gonna be good. I don't like touching tint because tint makes you look either green or purple. So we're gonna keep it right in the middle. Sharpness is gonna bring out a lot of definition, but it's also gonna make the photo look a little grainy. So we're just gonna bring it up a little bit, not too much, and then leave it at that. And then we're gonna go to definition. Definition, obviously, the word we're going for in this picture, but once again, we don't want too much because we wanna keep the face there. So we're gonna go maybe, I don't know, 15 or so. And then noise reduction is just gonna make the photo look blurry. We don't want that, so leave that. And then the last one, obviously, it's kind of like making the photo look a little bit vintage. And if we go all the way to the right, it's gonna bring in the darkness on the corners and more focus on the picture. So now we have the before and now we have the after. And as you guys can see, the first photo, it looked a little bit cold, right? We brought in the warmness, we brought in some features, we brought the saturation up a little bit. Out of all these, I would say the most important ones are warmth and saturation. Obviously, when you're more tan and more toned, you're gonna be a little bit more defined. So that's the ones that we focus on the most here. Okay, so for this next part, we're gonna go into an app called Photoshop Fix. Now, some of you may be familiar with it, and some of you may be hearing it for the first time from me, but this app is very cool and it can do a lot of different features, and it is free. So I would suggest going and downloading it after this video if you haven't already, but I'm gonna show you a couple things that you can do with it beforehand. So one of the cool things that it can do is whiten teeth. Now, I may not be blessed with the most genetically white teeth, so sometimes I dive into this app just to make it look like I'm brushing my teeth 3 different times a day, which I'm not. Okay, so now that I have the picture that we're going to edit, I'm going to zoom in on my face here, and we're gonna click on light here. Now, I'm gonna go with the opacity for about probably 25 or 30. Let's do 30, just so we can see the difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and start to mark over my teeth. We're gonna try to hit the lower ones as well, and we're gonna zoom out, and obviously we have that right there. We're gonna go check mark. I'm gonna zoom in and show you guys back and then forward, back and forward. Okay, so obviously that, looks really realistic in my opinion. When you scoot it back farther, it just looks like you have a nice white bright smile. So simple as that. Find the photo, zoom in, click on light, and then just adjust the opacity to about 25 or 30. And if you go all the way down to 0, it's not really going to do anything. If you go up to 100, it's going to pretty much make the image disappear. I don't know, but I know right around 25 or 30 is where I keep it. So that's what I would suggest you do as well. So the second thing that this app can do that is amazing, and I'm going to show you guys this because I did it earlier. I'm going to go ahead and click on a new photo. Okay, so this photo was back in January. I took a tumble on a bird downtown before COVID. I was going downtown with some roommates, and we were both riding the same bird and pretty much just ate it. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys how we can make my face look pretty much brand new. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in on the scarring on my face. I'm gonna go ahead and click on healing. Now we're gonna go ahead and just run over the whole wound, nice and slow. We wanna make it kind of simple. We're gonna do the images around it, little scars, a little bit of redness right here in my cheekbone area, and then I might as well even fix my sunglass line right here. See what that does. Okay, and then we zoom back. Now obviously the face is a little bit, I don't know, you could probably adjust with some brightness and some settings, but we just basically took off the whole scar, or whatever you want to call it, gouge on my face. And let's see if we can do it for the bottom one. I haven't even tried this. So obviously it's a little bit more difficult when there's facial hair around it. I don't know, I'd probably have to play around with it a little more, but all I know is when we look at this and we basically save it and then we go back, look at that before and after. It's crazy what that app can do. Smooths everything out, makes it look like I didn't even fall off a scooter. So with a recap of that, just go ahead and click on whatever photo you want to whether it's a bruise or heal something, you just click on that healing and then you go ahead and run over it. And obviously you can adjust the opacity, just mess around with the app to, see what looks good to you. Obviously you probably have some kind of feel, and obviously for this, I just left it at the settings I was at. It also does acne removal. This is basically the same thing as that scar, but let's zoom in on this picture right here, and I'm gonna zoom in on the acne that I had on my forehead. I'm gonna go ahead and click the healing. I'm gonna go ahead and just go over that little gap right there. I got a piece of fuzz in my eyebrow. Look at that. Made that disappear, and then I could really just go ahead and go over my whole face. It looks a little greasy, my forehead does. So what I could do is get rid of some lines here, but you don't want to go too overboard. Obviously you want things to be somewhat realistic, but fixing small blemishes like that. Now my face went from not camera ready. Obviously this day I was shooting some thumbnail pictures, but you can go from not thumbnail ready to immediately thumbnail ready. Now this app can do so many different things, but I don't want to make this video too long. Another great thing that it can do is it can make things, you know, pretty much disappear. So I pulled up a photo right here of myself just after I got coffee, and I'm going to pick an object to make disappear. Now, let's say I don't want the straw to be in it, so I zoom in and I see the straw. Let's go ahead and take that straw out if we can. Once again, I'm gonna go ahead and click the healing icon, and I'm just going to take that and draw the line all the way down. And then obviously, let's get that out of there. Now I could probably take more time and do a better job, but like once we zoom back out, you guys can see that there's no straw. So you can really do a lot of different things here. Other than that, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed these little tips and tricks when it comes to editing photos. Hopefully I showed you guys something that you don't know already. I might have talked about some stuff that you guys do know already. So I hope you guys found some value in this video. If you did, please drop a like and a comment letting me know what you guys took away from the video. If you guys haven't seen my latest video, I'm gonna go ahead and link that right there. I show you guys how to make over 100,000 a year, all from the gig app Instacart. So if you guys haven't checked that video out yet, go ahead and click on it, and I'll see you over there.